These are like, thank you. You can fix that up. So I'm transcribing my presentation into Otter.ai because why not turn it into a blog post afterwards? I'm always thinking about that. Thank you. My name is String, and these are some of the channels that I grew. And LinkedIn has announced that I'm one of the top voices, which is given to the top 300 content creators worldwide. Just to contextualize it, like anyone who's on LinkedIn? Anyone on LinkedIn? Okay, everyone, right? There's 620 accounts. 620 professionals use LinkedIn, and the word top voice is given to the top 300. So number one on my social media and marketing is Neil Patel. So I'm on the same list as Neil Patel. Does anyone know Neil Patel? Of course. So I'm going to just share like what's working and what's not working on LinkedIn, and I'm going to use him as an example. Can you share your LinkedIn with me? It's better to like show. You want to do Neil Patel, the SEO guy. Yeah, he's number one. 2 years running, but I'm 3 years running. And I'm going to tell you how I grew my LinkedIn channel, because I realized a lot of domain experts don't know how to market themselves or even document their knowledge and stuff. Okay, thanks, Nathan. All right. For me, personal branding is all about positioning, right? And I'm like, so what do you want to be known for?
For empowering founders.
All right. And I know one of his bigger goals and mission in life is to make Australia the number 3 startup.
Number two startup nation in the world.
Number 1 is Silicon Valley, isn't it?
Is US.
US, alright. So just to show an example here, I love his line, but I'll probably say empowering Australian founders through Silicon Beach. And then even describe what Silicon Beach is. A community to, even if you want to extend it. But what he can do is, see this little banner here? That's where you should probably advertise his monthly
pitch night,
which is what's happening here. So he should promote that and a website, so then people go through it all the time, so they know that Silicon Beach is connected through that. And that's probably, and I love his headline. A lot of people would do something really dry, like I'm a CEO of something startup, but no one knows who you are. No one cares if you're a founder or not. It's all about the end user or the person that you want to attract, which I call the vote, which is like a German word for people, because the more you know who you serve, the more you can create content and convey the messaging to attract them to your product or your service that you're providing. Yes. Yes. Yeah. You're not
I've been to many of your events.
Yeah.
I know many. So I feel sometimes, maybe I won't go to that.
No.
But everything's going to serve you, because everything you do is a process of growth.
Yes.
But you will find your family.
Yeah. That's the way to describe it. Silicon Beach is a family more than anything else.
Yeah.
Than a community, because you support each other, and that's like the emotional support and the support that Silicon Beach is known for should be emphasized, and the warmth as well. So I feel like it's also a lot of non-tech founders as well.
Yeah, I think that's what we are not good at getting across. People think it's all about tech.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But and I think a lot of I could tell you my theory of work and change a little bit later. So definitely he's into coaching, community engagement, mindfulness, and public speaking. So these are in many ways topics that he should talk about, because content should back his positioning. So you don't have to wear too many hats. If you write 10 topics, right, people get confused, because the whole idea is you want to be the go-to channel, the trusted voice, the source of information for people to learn. So you attract your families was oh, I want to learn and hang out with. I can't say your name as well. Is it?
Atula.
Atula.
Yeah.
I learned how to say his name properly now. About bit dry. So the first 2 lines are the magic keywords. It's like, lead organizer. He pretty much like repeated his headline when he's typically there in here. But it's all about it's like the about is almost like your landing page now. So you have to optimize it for the first 2 lines. And if you want to see a profile of how I optimize my LinkedIn, you should just look at my LinkedIn to see it. But I also have a 44 tip and hacks on how to optimize your LinkedIn as well on my website. You haven't heard of connections.
I'm now the CEO of Silicon Beach Group Limited. I've forgotten to put that in. Should I put that in?
Is it there?
Yeah,
but
it's
you
way
should
down.
put the website there.
Yeah.
So then it's all about backing it up, so then people get familiar with it as well. And it's like CEO, that's great, but I think what you need to do is repeat the mission statement of Silicon Valley there.
Yeah.
Because that's what you're promoting now. Because you're the go-to channel for everyone who wants to pitch and stuff. And I've seen your content already. And you hashtag it and trending on startups like that.
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go. So just simple things, if you have to do 3 things and update it, one is the headline here. Make sure the profile is clear as well and relatable. My one has a fried chicken hat because I like to talk about fried chicken. And optimize this sentence. And make sure you have a strong simple call to action. Open for opportunities for podcast interviews, open for opportunities for coaching new startup founders, open for opportunities or book me in if you want to have a 50-minute clarity call and then drop the link or something like that. But you just have to optimize for those things because it's SEO wise as well. LinkedIn even has their own magic keywords. SEO is search engine optimization, but in simple layman terms, it's what is a magic word that what you want to be known for? So Neil Patel is SEO, content creation, content marketing. That's what he's known for. Attila should be known about startups, founders, and innovation in many ways, because he's probably going to maybe talk about policies and stuff. And he should definitely promote his whatever product or service that you have, put it on there. Don't have 10 things, think of it as a billboard. What simple message or what am I promoting? And people are dumb. They don't want to see a lot of things. They just want to see one thing at a time, which is what good content is, alright? Good content is creating one thing, one purpose, and have a call to action. Because you want to train people to say, String has a really dope, has a history of dope content or blog posts. I'm going to definitely read your blog posts. So that's kind of it's almost like leaving digital your breadcrumbs around to build up your reputation and build that trust factor. So I hope that helps. Remember, 1, 2, 3, 4, and also connections. You should start actively just even writing the word startup founders or Melbourne founders. Even writing founders here. Let's look. Founder location. You could probably there are 6 million people with the word founder in them, right? That's a lot of people. So you optimize your location to be in Australia and apply it. These are the people. There's only 146,000 founders in Australia. So these are the potentially you could connect with them and reach out to them. And if you go down to Melbourne, because his founders is, let's look at second-degree connections instead. 14,000. So by doing that, it means there's someone connected to someone within his network. And he only has about less than 2,000 connections.
Yeah.
But potentially he's connected to potentially 14,000 other founders in Australia. So this is me just being growth hacking my way through things, right? And I'm just showing you how to utilize LinkedIn properly because this is how I've been making money, telling my story, and building my channel up and stuff. Okay, cool. Oh, go back to the presentation. Yeah, thank you. So some of my backstory is how did I get started? I guess it started with my mum. She gave me a young DNA face to be super curious about the world, and she's a refugee, and she she was a single mum and I was one of 5 kids, so she brought up 5 kids by herself. And one of the things she did was like she chucked us at the local library because she couldn't afford childcare. Because and yet every day after school we'd go there and wait for her to pick us up. But I loved it because that's like my version of Google. Like Google didn't exist when I was younger, and so I was like, so I quenched my thirst for knowledge there, and I realized that Australia has a bit of a conservative mindset in terms of imposter syndrome. So I had to like escape to America or go online because the 9-to-5 job didn't make sense to me. So I became an artist. And within 2 years, I realized it wasn't monetizable or sustainable. So I had to move to Sydney and jumped onto video because I noticed like social media allowed me to control my narrative. And since then, like I went on to video. Have anyone heard of Meerkat? It's like Periscope. So it died within 6 months. I was like the top 20 channel there, 44,000 followers, and in 6 months it died because Periscope squished Meerkat out of the way.
Yeah, because Twitter bought Periscope.
Yeah, and actually, you know, I even like monetized it. Like I raised like 2 Bitcoins or something like that. I was like giving away Bitcoin during that time. Like it was really, actually Meerkat has a better user experience and notification than Twitter does to Periscope. So I thought that was kind of hilarious.
But isn't Periscope now allowing people to monetize?
Nah, like I was literally giving away Bitcoins using emojis during that time. Like, and I haven't seen anyone do that again. Like, I wish I saved my Bitcoin. I'd be rich right now. And I bought stupid stuff. Like I used my Bitcoin at that time to buy flights and stuff like that. So like I'm more of an end consumer than an investor per se. So my 3 tips on I find that I'm always like 2-3 years ahead, and most consumers only think like 3 months ahead. So I realized I had to like strip back and like be really awesome in creating channels. And the way to create channels is be the go-to channel, be the trusted voice and authority. So literally I talk about Meerkat on Meerkat, I talk about Snapchat on Snapchat, and I won awards for every channel that I won because all I do is like growth hack. Like I create content to growth hack. That's how I do things. And people will come and follow me because they want to know what shit I'm doing because I seem to get access to all these features that LinkedIn likes to give me. So I probably know about 4 products that no one has access to on LinkedIn, like LinkedIn Live. I have access to LinkedIn Live. Not like about 10 people in Australia has access to it. Anyway, be authentic. What does authentic mean? It means authenticity and awkward. So it's okay to be awkward because it's relatable, right? And no one, the more polished you are, the more like people don't trust you. And know your vogue. So vogue is one of my theories about personal branding influence. So like you know your vision, your values, your vogue, which is your German word for focus. Your visuals, which are, you know, like if you follow me on LinkedIn, you probably see me talk about fried chicken or use business and bullet points about fried chicken. You see that. Validation, you know, what are the KPIs or metrics that you want to measure your growth? My one is like, how many fried chicken stories do I get per day? And I get 1, at least around the world. And victory, it's okay to monetize, make bank. Like, you know your shit. Everyone knows their stuff. But I feel like a lot of people are scared of like making bank off their knowledge. But you've like cultivated your years of expertise, then you may as well know how to monetize it. So the thing that I noticed that like people, I find that like what's a common trend these days is that the 9-to-5 people hate their jobs. Like, really hate their jobs. Because they realize there's more to life than just being stuck in one job that they hate. And you know, like I'm kind of proof that if you love what you do, you can stay young forever. Like I'm 35 years old, but I don't feel like I'm 35 at all. And some of the challenges faced by knowledge-based experts are that they don't know how to market themselves because they spend like 5 to 10 years developing their skill sets and getting support from corporate world, that once they get out of that space, they're like doing things on themselves. So having like Silicon Valley is a great way to find support and learn from each other. because when you do something new, what's going to happen is like you feel like you're in kindergarten again. So you feel like shit. Like literally, like I feel like people who are domain experts would have that much fear. It's like, oh, I don't know anything anymore. But trust in the fact that you know your stuff, you know you care about things. You just need to like take time to learn things because it takes a while to find that space and momentum. And they're like one of the reasons why they're like terrible marketers is because they're terrible content creators and they don't know how to position themselves. And you know, like people want to be their own boss, but they don't know how to do it yet. So there's a lack of tools and support at the moment for coaches and domain experts and stuff. But feel free to take photos. Like I share a lot of my content anyway. So how does like my the trusted voice, like one of the things that like LinkedIn has opened so many doors that it literally gave me an opportunity to get pre-seed funding for myself this year. So I got some money to like develop some ideas. And originally was master your video, then it got turned into the trusted voice because the barrier to market themselves with, because I realized that coaches need, within the first 2 years of business, they don't want to do video because like they want to like learn how to market themselves. And LinkedIn is one, creating a book is one, and a few other things. So, but they still need to know how to develop the marketing skills. And video is too much of a scary thing for most people. You have to be like almost like confident within the second or third year of business to really like to be fully confident in video. So, but I noticed something like you need everyone has goals, shitty or no assets, subpar content, no vocal tribe, and when you go through the trusted voice, which is I call the engine, you'll get back smarter goals, winning assets, relevant content, and an active community, which means you can have clients, income, money stream. And then you become, once you become a trusted voice, these things like becomes like a bit of a circle anyway. And inside the TTV engine, you get clarity, you become a trusted channel by like developing and evolving your brand to level up your skills using training and courses, and you personalize one-on-one coaching. But also I realized that a lot of people want to have, like use the trusted voice as a way to find lead generations as well. So I'm figuring that out with Jay. And one of the products we're developing is like how can we use data to help back people's growth as well? Because at the end of the day, if you don't know your numbers, you don't know what works or doesn't work. So one of the products that we're working on right now, because I realized LinkedIn is like a great opportunity to organically grow your community really fast, because it's a magic black book behind it. If you have access to Sales Navigator, you pretty much could like gain access to the emails and stuff like that. And like there are over like 4 million coaches around the world, and there are like 10 different types of coaches. This is not like my spread. If you look at my spreadsheet, there are 10 different types of coaches, like coaches, sports coaches, executive coaches, confidence coaches, career coaches. So this is me just like being really analytical about my work. And like they're in different business stages. Some are like started their business, some are 10 years into their business. But all I want to do is like help two groups, which is the first group is like people within their first 2 years of business, and the old farts. Anyone over 7 years of business who are not, they're analog but not digital. Because they have like so many years of knowledge and hopefully enough money to want to like start like putting their knowledge into the internet properly. So this is the report. What I've done is I haven't I'm still in the process of automation and gaining access to the LinkedIn API, and I've used no code to develop this. Virtual assistant, like I use a virtual assistant, data studios, a spreadsheet, and gaining I have a trustworthy relationship with the users, and they like pretty much like every month what I do is like crunch numbers for them manually and give them a report and a bit of like content intelligence on how to like be better on LinkedIn based on what their goals are. What's interesting is that like the way I validated it is like I make them pay. It's like you could have access to this report for $10 a month US. And already about 10 people have paid for it. So one of the fastest, like one tip that if you would like creating products or something, make them pay. That's the fastest form of validation because people will lie. People's like, or people don't want to say no to you. So what they do is like, yeah, I'll buy it. Oh, yeah, I will support you. But the only validation that you should gain from customers is they put money in to like buy that product. That means there's an actual demand for it. There's a market for it. Okay, so our 2020 goal is to, I realized like instead, because when I first started out, I was thinking like it's going to be small business owners, domain experts, thought leaders, and coaches and stuff like that. But I realized like coaches are the people that I should help focus on because they're willing to be a channel on LinkedIn. So the goal is to help coaches develop marketing skills to enable them to be a trusted voice and grow their own community. They didn't, I'm not pitching per se, but that's how my format of my thing is. But like, so we have training to help people level up their content and LinkedIn in 2020. And there's also, I haven't opened it up publicly because we need to automate the report to be worth scaling. So it's still in like beta process at the moment. I'm in talks with coders because like, and I'm even trying to like make friends with the LinkedIn team to get access to the LinkedIn API. There are competitions out there, but I feel like this is me being audacious and confident, is that I know back to front what LinkedIn and how it works, that even, and being a content creator and a channel 3 times in a row and a practitioner of LinkedIn, I feel like I have unfair advantage. Plus I have a global network. Like, if you follow me, you realize that that I have a connection all around the world as well, because I've been building up my network for the last 4 or 5 years in the startup space. Oh, that's it. So any questions? Like, I'm happy to answer any questions about LinkedIn.
I'm happy to sign up. Where can I sign up?
Yeah.
Take my money.
Yes. That's because I showed you, like, I told you how to like optimize your content and stuff like that. Yeah.
More. Tell me more.
Yeah. But the more you know who you're, like going back to the 3 things, the more you know who your audience is, or your customers and your community and your family and your tribe, the more like you can like provide the value and content to them, to the point where it's inbound as well.
Questions?
So you mentioned to spruce up your LinkedIn page.
Yes.
It's better to have less than too much.
If you look at my one, it's just, no, I'm just telling you how to optimize what people see.
Yeah.
But you just like make sure that you, like, I always say, like, what do you, like, the first question you should ask yourself is like, what do I want to be known for? And then reverse engineer that. So your messaging should like back that position as much as possible. Because there's no, or like the other thinking is like, what is the goal? It's like, I want people to sign up my course. So then it means like I have to like write a copy or back my copy up to like funnel people into using the trustedvoice.co.
And when you write up your content, you should also always think of like keywords that
Yes.
people search for. Yes.
Yeah.
So like a hashtag or whatever you want to be known for.
Yes.
Put relevant words on that so that when they search for that, you funnel them into your page.
It's also because like the way like engagement works in LinkedIn is that the more people comment onto it, the more it goes up, right?
Are you talking about posts?
Yeah, posts, right? And because me, like the way I've been creating content is all about conversations and engagement, because people read through things, and I'm a bit of a troll. So if I have a troll, I'll throw fried chicken at them. So I'm always like backing my like messaging, and a lot of girls like they show skin, and they always say they're getting a lot of like sexist messages, and I'm like thinking, who have you connected with that you get those kind of messages? Because you're pretty much giving them permission to like message you. So like people like there's an old way of doing things called the lion approach, which is LinkedIn, open network where they just connect with everyone. And I think that's like a stupid way of doing it, because it means like you don't know who your people are. Yeah, but just think of like what are your key messages that you want to be, what do you want to be known for, and what are the messages that will back your positioning? And don't go far from that. And like the more specific and niche you are, the more like people will like, because it takes a while for people to connect you with that topic.
So, just going back to that topic, so you don't accept people who aren't within your market, or?
So, because like, you know, at the moment, if you look at my like book, I only have 5,000 connections, but I have 35,000 followers. And within those 5,000 connections are marketers, founders, and then investors. But very few are coaches. But I have like another list like of people that I potentially want to connect with, and they're all coaches, but within the first 2 years of business. Okay. I'm happy to like answer any questions. You want to update your like profile? Yes. Feel free to connect with me on LinkedIn. Like I know sometimes it takes a bit of while to digest, but just send me like Silicon Valley fried chicken, and I'm like happy to answer all questions.
Silicon Beach, you mean?
Yeah.
Silicon Beach.
And you know, when there's a next Silicon Beach party, can you fry a fried chicken for me?
Okay.
Yeah. That's how I get everyone to like fry me fried chicken. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you.